children. We have come back after the Onam holidays, isn't it? I hope you have enjoyed the holidays very well. Now today we are going into a new lesson. So before starting that lesson, teacher wants to show you some magic. Okay. So here I have a paper in which two flowers are already drawn and a branch is drawn. Now here you don't see any flowers, isn't it? Now I am going to rub this cloth onto that so that some flowers will appear. So that is the magic what I am going to do. So I am just rubbed on the paper with a white cloth, and here you can see some red flowers have appeared, isn't it? So what is the secret behind this magic? Does anyone know about it? There is a secret behind this magic. For this, we are going to do a small experiment. For that, I have a shoe flower with me. You know, this is a shoe flower. It is called as hibiscus, isn't it? So for this, to do this experiment or to do this magic, we need a shoe flower. Now what teacher is going to do is, I am going to rub the shoe flower onto this piece of paper. Onto this piece of paper. So I have rubbed the shoe flower onto this piece of paper. And you can see it is somewhat purplish blue in color, isn't it? When it dries, it will turn into blue color. We will wait for some time. After that, what I am going to do is, I am going to take a little bit of, you know what is this? This is lime. So I am going to take lime and squeeze 2 or 3 drops of lime onto this paper. I hope you can see. When I squeeze lime or rub lime on that, what can we see here? We can see that the blue color which we got when we rubbed this hibiscus onto the paper has changed into red color. Okay. So it has changed into red color, dark pinkish red color, isn't it? So in the same way, we can make a hibiscus paper. So teacher has already rubbed hibiscus last night onto papers, and I have made small strips of papers like this. So you can see strips of papers like this. So why did this color of this hibiscus paper change? Yes, we know that because we rubbed lime on it, isn't it? Now, same way how we did with lime, we are going to conduct this experiment using some other materials. So, I am going to keep some more materials onto this, and we will see whether any changes are coming. So, now you can see right in front of you, there are certain solutions kept on the table. So I will tell you what it is. Lime water, this is sugar solution, vinegar, buttermilk, soap solution, tamarind water, and salt solution. Now these liquids I have kept right in front of me. Now we saw that on a hibiscus paper, when we rubbed lime juice, what happened, isn't it? So here teacher has prepared some hibiscus paper. That is, I have already rubbed the paper with hibiscus flower last night, and I have dried it and I have cut it into strips. So you also can make the same thing. You have shoe flower at home. Take a red shoe flower, rub it nicely on white paper on both sides. I have not done on both sides, and dry it and keep it with you. This can be used for the experiments of this lesson. Now what I am going to do is I am going to dip this hibiscus paper in each of these solutions and we are going to see what is going to happen. Okay, so first I am going to take the lime water. So it was blue hibiscus paper. When I dipped in lime water, what happened here? Yes, this has changed into red color. Okay, now next one I am taking out this one which I put in sugar water. Has the color changed here? No. So whichever color is changing, we will keep it separate. Okay. Now here I have dipped in vinegar. So now look at this. Is the color changed? Yes. So this also we will keep it separate. Now the next one is buttermilk. So here, has the color changed here? Yes, isn't it? It is changed into pink color. So this also we will keep it here. Now we will take the soap solution. Has it changed here? No. So we will keep it separately. Then we will take tamarind water here. The tamarind water has a color changed? Yes. And finally, we will take salt solution. Has the color changed here? No. So these three we will keep it separate. So here, in 4 solutions, we saw that the color of the hibiscus paper has changed from blue to pink or blue to red, because when you put lot of rub nicely, then you will get red color. So it has changed from blue to red. Now, does these solutions have something in common? We have tasted all these solutions. Vinegar we have tasted, buttermilk we have tasted, lime juice we have tasted, tamarind water we have tasted. What is the taste of all these things in which the color is changing? Yes, we know they are sour in taste, isn't it? They are sour to taste. So, the hibiscus paper in which the color changed, we know they have a common property. They are sour in taste. Now, we have made this hibiscus paper by rubbing hibiscus, isn't it, onto that. Now, this we did because it is a type of indicator to show what type of solution it is. Okay. Now, we are coming into that for you to know more about it. Now, instead of using this hibiscus paper, in the laboratory, we have papers called as indicators. These papers are called as indicators because it tells us something. So, they are called as indicators. So, in the laboratory, instead of hibiscus paper, we get 2 types of papers. These papers are called as litmus paper. These papers are called as litmus paper. So, in the laboratory, we get 2 types of paper. One is the blue litmus paper and one is red litmus paper. So, now we are taking the blue litmus paper and we are going to conduct the same experiment here once more using blue litmus paper in these same solutions. So, here I have put the blue litmus paper in buttermilk. What happened here? It changed into red. Now again, I am taking the next litmus paper and I am dipping in vinegar. What happened? Here also it changed into red. Next one in lime water. Here also it changed into red. Next one in tamarind water. Here also it changed into red. So here we can see the litmus papers which I dipped in. These 4 solutions have changed into red color. When we dipped the hibiscus paper also, we saw that it has changed into red color. So the litmus papers are indicators which are commonly used in the laboratory. They are available in red and blue. When it is not available for us to do these experiments at home, we can make use of hibiscus paper. Okay. Now, so here we found out that the hibiscus paper and the litmus paper, in certain liquids, it changes blue litmus into red. Now, do you know what the name? There is a common name for these type of liquids. That is, which can change the hibiscus or the litmus paper from blue to red. These liquids are called as acids. So, we are going to learn the new lesson, acids and alkalis. So, we are going to learn what are acids, we are going to learn what are alkalis, and how do we identify whether a given solution is an alkali or an acid. So, here we saw that these four solutions have something in common, isn't it? What is it? Yes, they are sour to taste, and then they can turn the blue litmus into red. So, they are common properties. They are sour to taste and they can turn blue litmus to red. Now, all these solutions which I took here, we use it for our household purposes, isn't it? For our food. All these solutions, we use it for our food. It is harmless to us, isn't it? But there are certain acids. So, these acids are harmless to our body. It comes along with the food. There are certain acids which are there in the laboratory which cannot be included in our food, and such acids are hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, etc., nitric acid. All these are acids which are available in the laboratory, which are used for laboratory purposes. Okay, so here I have one type of acid with me, that is hydrochloric acid. This acid we cannot use it directly, we have to dilute. So this hydrochloric acid which is there, which teacher, is already a diluted hydrochloric acid, because it is not safe for us to keep acids at home. It is dangerous, we know, isn't it? If it falls down, it can burn our body. So it is dangerous. So that is why I brought the diluted hydrochloric acid, because we have to do few experiments with it. So these acids are available only in the laboratory. We cannot keep it at home. So certain acids are used in our homes also, that is in the battery of the car, in the inverter batteries and all, there are acid. Those sulfuric acid is used in that for the laboratory or for the industrial purposes. These acids which you see here, we use it for our home food purposes. So here are a list of acids which you can see, which we use in our daily life, which is that buttermilk. What acid is present in buttermilk? Yes, but the acid which is present in buttermilk is called as lactic acid. Then in vinegar there is an acid that is called as acetic acid. Sometimes on the bottle of the vinegar you can see the name given here, synthetic vinegar. This is acetic. If you look at the content, you can see water and acetic acid. So in vinegar, which is the acid which is present in vinegar, it is acetic acid. Then in tamarind, what is the acid present in tamarind water? Tartaric acid. Then in lemon juice, orange juice, all the fruits we know, isn't it? In that, what is present? Citric acid. We know we are asked to take a lot of citric acid, isn't it? Because it gives us immunity power. So we are asked to drink lime water, orange, all these things contain citric acid. That is, how do we know that? The fruits which are sour to taste contains citric acid. So in buttermilk we have lactic acid, in vinegar we have acetic acid, in lime we have citric acid, and in tamarind water we have tartaric acid. And apple seeds contain acid that is called as malic acid. Apple contains malic acid. So these are the different types of acids which we use in our daily life for our food purposes. Okay. Now, while using these chemicals or these acids, that is the laboratory acids, there are certain things that we have to take care of. What are we to do? we should not taste, that is the hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, all these acids when we are using in the laboratory, we have to be careful. We should not taste it, we should not touch it, we should not smell it, then it should not fall onto the body, and we should use a dropper while taking the acid from the bottle into transferring for the experiments. And always when we use acid, we have to dilute the acid with water. So we have to take water first and then add drops of acid into the dilute stir well, and we have to use a holder also for the test tube when we are using these type of strong acids in the laboratory. So these are the things which we have to take care when we use acids. So children, we have already learned what is an acid, what is the taste of an acid, and what is the property. Acids can turn blue litmus paper into red. Now we have learned about acids few things, and we learned about how to prepare a hibiscus paper and all that, isn't it? Now we are going to do a small experiment using acid and metal. Okay, so for that I am using hydrochloric acid because we are using that acid. Teachers put gloves on my hand. And the metal, zinc and copper and all is available, but then because of lockdown and things, I cannot go to the laboratory and buy. So already I have magnesium ribbon with me, which we used last year for the changes, chemical change and all that we learned, isn't it? So this magnesium ribbon is there. So this is a metal. So teachers using magnesium ribbon and diluted hydrochloric acid. So these two things are safe to be used at home. That is why I am using. So we are going to see what will happen if we mix a acid and a metal together. What is going to happen? So we are going to do a small experiment. You have to be very careful when doing this experiment. And don't try this experiment with hydrochloric acid in your home because you don't have. Instead of that, teacher will show you another simple way in which you can do this experiment at home. So here, to do this experiment using a metal and an acid, we are going to see what is going to happen. For that, I am taking a test tube here. And I am going to take this diluted hydrochloric acid into a test tube using a syringe. So I have taken dilute hydrochloric acid. If it is not diluted, we have to add water, then add 1 or 2 drops of acid to make it dilute. Because already this is diluted, I need not do anything. Now I have cut small pieces of magnesium ribbon. So you can see small pieces of magnesium ribbon I have cut. Now I am going to put this into the acid here. When I have put this into the acid, I will bring it closer. You can see that a certain reaction is happening. Here you can see bubbles are coming. Some reaction is happening. So we have to see what is happening, isn't it? So for that, I am going to close this with my finger. We have to use a stopper because it is at home. I don't have a rubber stopper here. I am using my finger. You have to be very careful. So with the finger, I am closing it tight, and you can see, I hope you can see air, a little smoke coming out, isn't it? So when this will get filled now with some sort of air. So we are going to see what is filling inside. What is the reaction after this reaction? What is going to happen? Okay. And when some gas is being formed inside this test tube. So we have to check what gas is being formed, okay, inside this test tube. So for that, what we have to do is, we have to light a candle here. This is a dangerous experiment, so please don't try it at home without your parents. So I am bringing a lighted matchstick to this. Now see what will happen. Here you can see a pop coming out, isn't it? The matchstick popped with a sound, isn't it? Once again, I will show you. Here you saw that the matchstick, the fire on the matchstick was put out with a pop sound. So what is the gas which was evolved when a acid and a metal was mixed together? Yes, that gas is hydrogen. That gas is hydrogen. So to know that whether it is hydrogen, here the hydrogen put off the lighted matchstick with a pop sound. So that is the indication that it is hydrogen. And what is the indication if it is an oxygen? We know that oxygen is a gas which helps to burn. So here to know one more experiment we can do is, already the gas is getting evolved here. I have put a balloon. This you can do from home. And then we will wait and see whether this balloon is getting filled with air after some time. So we will keep this balloon here. So after some time we will be able to see that the balloon is filling with hydrogen air. Okay, so this is an experiment which we can do. We will keep this like this so that we can note it later. Now, how can you do this experiment at home? I hope you all saw this experiment. Now you want to do it, isn't it? Yes, we also can do this experiment at home. How? We don't have hydrochloric acid. So we are going to close this hydrochloric acid and keep it aside. I don't have hydrochloric acid at home. Which is the acid which is available in our house? Yes, we know vinegar is available in our homes, isn't it? Yes. And everybody will have a strong bottle like this, isn't it? Any bottle, oil bottle, any bottle is available in our home. So using this, can we do? Yes, we need little bit of metal also. If you have magnesium ribbon, it is okay. Otherwise, what you can do is, if there is a metal cutting or welding area nearby, there if you go, you can get aluminium filings, aluminium pieces, aluminium fabrication centers. If you have near your home or any other fabrication center, they would have scraped and put aluminium filings, so that if you collect and bring, we can do this experiment. So here teachers using magnesium ribbon only. Again, so I am cutting pieces of magnesium ribbon. Okay, so what I am going to do is, I am going to put this magnesium ribbon pieces into the bottle here, and I am going to add vinegar into this bottle. So I'm going to close and keep it like this, and then we can do this simple. We can do the simple experiment by taking a balloon. Instead of making it to pop, take a balloon and cover this bottle. So this experiment, it is easy for you to do, making a hydrogen balloon. So how can you make a hydrogen balloon? Take pieces of Aluminium filings if you have, pour little vinegar into it, into a strong bottle, and then close it with a balloon. So after some time we can see that the balloon is getting filled with air. So in that way we can make a hydrogen balloon here. So what did we learn through this experiment? Yes, we learned that when an acid mix with a metal, okay, when an acid reacts with a metal, what is produced? Hydrogen is produced. So not only hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid and zinc, sulfuric acid and magnesium, hydrochloric acid and iron, all this, when a metal and an acid reacts together, what is evolved? Hydrogen is evolved. Here you can see now the balloon is standing straight. So what is evolving into this? If you keep it for some time, we can see that the balloon will get filled with hydrogen, and this is how hydrogen is used to fill in balloons, we know, isn't it? Balloon will stand high in the sky if you fill with hydrogen. Hydrogen balloons are available everywhere for the functions and all. We do that, isn't it? Yes. So this is how this experiment you can do it from home. So what did we learn in this lesson? We learned how to make a hibiscus paper. Then we learn what is an acid. How do we know whether it is an acid? Yes, when we take a hibiscus paper or a blue litmus paper and put it into acid, it will turn red in color. So if any substance turns blue litmus into red color, that is an acid. And what is the peculiarity of an acid? It is sour to taste. And there are certain acids which are used only in the laboratory, which is not safe for us to use at home. So the other acids which are available in our daily life for our daily food, we know which are the different acids. We have gone through that. So try to do this experiment from home. It is very simple. And to produce hydrogen, take the photo of this and send it to teacher. So that is the activity which you have to do. So what did we learn here? When an acid reacts with the metal, hydrogen is produced. And how do we know it is hydrogen? It goes out with the pop sound. So here we know the balloon is getting filled with hydrogen. It is a very simple experiment. This you can do from home. Don't try the other experiment, because more hydrogen is produced, it can go out with a big pop. So it is not safe for you to do. Please do this experiment without burning hydrogen. So here children, we saw that when an acid reacts with the metal, hydrogen is produced. Okay, this was first invented by Henry Cavendish, that some gas is being produced when a acid reacts with the metal. Some gas is produced, was invented by a scientist named as Henry Cavendish, and it was Lavoisier who named this gas as hydrogen. And the meaning of hydrogen is what? Water producing. Okay, we know water. What is water? Water is H2O. That is, 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen will make water, we know. So this hydrogen gas and oxygen, when it joins together, we get what is called as water. So the meaning of hydrogen is water produced. So now here we saw that an acid reacts with the metal and a gas is produced. So here we know, when we buy pickle and all these things, isn't it? We know that the cap is not a metal. It is always plastic, isn't it? If the cap is metal, or if you store such tamarind water and buttermilk and all in aluminium vessel, what will happen? Yes, we know. If at home also you will have vessels like that, in which your mother mixes tamarind and all that. Suppose she does like that, you can see that the color changes. Reaction will take place, which is not good for our health. So here we know that acid, things containing acid, should not be stored in metal containers, because reaction can happen there, which is not good for our body. So always when we store food which contains acid in that, it either should be in a plastic container or it should be in a glass container. We should not store it in a metal container. So in this lesson we saw all these things. We know we learned how to make hydrogen also. So please try out this experiment at home. Thank you, children.